Let me ask you this problem. There's a new Democracy Corps poll out, Dick, and I know how you love polls out there, but this one suggests that Obama's approval rating, believe it or not, has now gone to 55%. And Mark McKinnon, who you know, is quoted as saying the stimulus bill, or I actually have a new name for it, the European Socialist Act of 2009, or the End of Capitalism as we know it Act of 2009, but he said that this bill is like a rotting corpse, and every day it sits out there in the sunlight, it starts to stink more. I see the same thing happening.
I couldn't agree more. You can just feel this thing losing popularity. I'm not sure it yet gets to the level of Obama's favorability rating or job approval. That may take a while. But you can just see the balance shifting. Rasmussen, for example, reported it went from 49% popularity down to 42% at the end of last week. We'll see what it is this week. People are understanding that this is a Christmas tree, a grab bag of stimulus. Just like they came to the same conclusion, Sean, when Bill Clinton tried the same thing for a pokey $35 billion back in 1993. And when it came out, it was midnight basketball and swimming pools and all kinds of stuff. People began to turn against it. And I think that's what's happening now.
Well, it raises, actually, the president said that if he doesn't fix the economy in 3 years, that he recognizes he'll be a one-term president. Now, question, I guess the question that arises here, what should the Republicans now in the Senate do? If it's going to be go ahead.
I think they should vote against this. I think they should force major changes in it in order to support anything in it. I think they should orient it much more toward tax cuts, much less toward spending increases. But I just want to caution everyone about this so-called stimulus package. John Maynard Keynes' economic theory said that you put money into the economy, workers go out and spend it, bosses say, hey, the demand is back, the recession's over, and they hire more workers, and the cycle begins to work. But economists have lately decided that's not what happens. They have replaced it with what they call the theory of rational expectations, which is the worker gets $1,000 in the mail from the government. He doesn't think the recession's over. He says, this is a one-shot thing. I'm not going to spend it. And as a result, consumer spending has fallen for 6 consecutive months. And when the employer notices a slight pickup in sales, he says, the stimulus check is hitting. And he doesn't run out and hire new workers. He banks the money. And what's happening is because people have rational expectations of the future, they're not automatons who spend the money that they get. And my feeling is that the stimulating effect of this is going to be relatively minor. But what's going to be huge is all that money goes into hiding. The worker pays down his bills, the businessman invests it in T-bills, and then when when confidence ticks up again, 2 years later, 2.5 years later, the money supply is bloated. And all of this money that was hidden comes out, and you get 20–30% inflation. And that, I think, is going to be Obama's third and fourth year. I think he'll be defeated, not because of this recession, but because of the inflation his own stimulus package is causing as we speak.
John Kasich's going to join us in our next segment, and he really put us on the path to a balanced budget in '95, he and along with Pete Domenici. So we're going to go over what's in the best interest.
With some help from my old boss there, Sean.
Well, remember, Clinton was saying between 7 and 9, 8 and 10, and it was Kasich who insisted on CBO numbers. Let me get this last question in. He puts 2 tax cheats in office. He says that no lobbyists are going to be a part of the administration. He's changed on that pretty quickly. He wants to close Gitmo. He practices bipartisanship by basically reminding everybody he won, and the Republicans are even freezed out of writing the bill and offering alternatives. So I'm wondering, what is the net effect on Barack Obama? He's only been in office 14 days, Dick, and...
Well, there is a sense that people tend to have that, you know, the children are running the White House, and sometimes when the Republicans win, they say, oh, the adults took over. And Bill Clinton used to refer to the children that got me elected, Stephanopoulos and Emanuel. And I think that to a great extent, you're going to first see, as a lead indicator, people turning against the stimulus package. Then you might see Daschle go down. It depends on how those hearings go and what else is going on. Right. And then I think several months from now, you'll begin to see Obama's ratings fall. But the big thing, Sean, is this crisis isn't going away. It's going to get worse over the next year,
right.
Probably over the next 2 years. And Obama's front-loading all of this action, all of this legislation, all of this urgency. In about 6 months, it's going to be a laughingstock.
Dick, it's the end of capitalism as we know it, Bill of 2009, and European Socialism Bill of 2009. We're going to watch it. We'll bring you back, Dick. Thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And coming up, stimulus or spending in big government. Now, from the sounds of some very key Democrats, it's beginning to sound more and more like spending. We're going to play you Barney Frank's explanation, and you decide if the package is going to be stimulating anything but debt for your children and grandchildren. And then the golden boy, Michael Phelps, he uncovers a different pot of gold. The Great American Panel responds to the shocking pictures that came out this weekend. That and more straight ahead.